Hello everyone, this is Simon Stevens from Inception Designs, and now I'm going to take you through stages 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9 of building one of our autocockers, and that will be installing the front block, putting on your pneumatic components and putting on your hoses. So this is a very important step to the process. I'll transition you over so we're looking at the gun on the mat. Okay, we'll get rid of all the things we don't need. We're going to get our front block out. And our front block already has a O-ring installed in it. In this case, it's actually in the wrong location. Normally it's just loose in the bag. It actually dropped into the wrong location. It goes into the back face of the front block, and that you can tell is the one with the little step on it. Before we put it in there, we are going to put a little grease on it. And this is Dow 33. Grease it up a little, put it into place, and then we are going to need, from our parts kit, from box number 2, we are going to need our front block screw, we're going to need our LPR, our ram, our low pressure hose, and from box number 3 we are going to need our 3-way. Okay, so to start with, we're going to take the high volume banjo bolt out, and this is a very nice stainless steel part. It's machined out for the maximum volume possible and for the best flow through it possible. We have the sealing O-ring on here, so anytime we have a sealing O-ring that doesn't move, we want a little Dow 33 on there. Just get it in on that O-ring, run it round. Okay, and then this is going to go through the front of your front block, like so. And you have to make sure that you have that rear O-ring in place. It's very important. And this is going to line up on the front of your gun body. And we're going to use 3/16 Allen key to get it started. Now you want it to get it started, you want to make sure that the block drops down over the step, the alignment step. And then we're just going to screw it down. Okay, and then we're going to take a look down the body to the step, and we want to make sure that that gap is nice and even. There is a little bit of play in there because of the tolerances of all the different parts. You want to make sure that gap's nice and even, everything's square, and then tighten down the front. Everything looks good. Make sure that's locked down nice and solidly. There's one case where you can actually use the longer arm of the set screw, of the Allen key rather. Lock it down because you don't want that to be moving. You want it to be nice, square, not moving. Okay, so that's the front block installed. All set. Now we're going to install the pneumatics. Now with the pneumatics, you always do the 3-way first. So we're going to get 3-way out. And this is our UFC 3-way. Extremely small, ultimate flow and clearance. So you can see how nice and tiny this 3-way is. And very simply, we're going to take the 3-way and we are going to screw it in to the 3-way location on the right hand side of the gun. And you're going to screw it in, and you're going to want it to roughly be vertical with the barbs. A little bit of play before it tightens up is actually what you want. You don't want your 3-way locked in completely tight. A little bit of motion and movement actually allows it to align. You'll get better performance. You'll get less wear on your O-ring seals. We do provide locations for locking screws on the front block, on the 3-way side and on the ram side. They say the customer is always right. People have asked us to do that, which is why they're on there. totally don't recommend you use them. I like to let the three-way and the Ram float just slightly. So that's the three-way installed. Again, we'll swap it over, and we're going to take the Ram. And the Ram has an O-ring on there. Sometimes it's nice to have the O-ring on there. It's not necessarily needed. But you take the Ram, put it into the Ram location. We're going to screw that down. And you want to make sure when you screw that down, again, just a little bit of motion before it tightens up is a good thing. And you want to make sure that the barbs are going to be below the axis of the barrel, so we're not going to catch our barrel on those barbs. And that's actually going to give us a nice routing for the hoses. So that's all great. Then we're going to take our LPR. And the LPR, you notice, doesn't have the barb on it. If it does have the barb on it, you actually need to remove the barb before you can install it. And that's why we do these in this order. We're going to want to put 545 thread sealant. I get it from my tools. 545 thread sealant onto the threads. Actually, we have to shake it up first. Okay. Then we're going to take it, couple of drops, and run those all the way around the thread. That is more than enough. I'm going to start off by screwing this in by hand. Okay, and then we have a thin wrench. 16 millimeters is the width. Got to be careful because you don't want to scratch your front block and you don't want to scratch your LPR, so that's why we use a thin wrench. Put it on the nut right up against the LPR body, and we're just going to slowly, gently and carefully tighten that down. Now once it starts coming a little tight, you want to watch for where your LPR hose is, and it's over there. So now I'm just going to tighten it up, bringing that LPR hose barb location around. A little difficult to do this on camera and to be careful as I need to be. Okay, and you want that location to be pointing just past the center of the Allen key hole for the front block screw. And once we actually put the barb on there, we're probably going to tweak it just a little bit further, but we need to put that barb on now. So now we're going to use the barb that came in the package with the LPR. 1032 threaded barbs, and this is never an easy package to open. There we go. Get our 1032 barb out, and we're going to get our nut driver, and this is a 1/4 inch nut driver with just a shallow nut socket. We're going to put the barb in there. We're going to take a little drop of 545. We already have sealant on there, but I'm such a big fan of this 545 that we're just going to put any drop on there. Let it run around the threads. And we're going to pick up the gun, align that carefully with the threads on the LPR, and just tighten it down so it goes flat against the surface. Now you can see we've got plenty of space from the Ram, so I'm just going to tighten that LPR down slightly just so that I'll get a smoother flow for the hoses when I'm making them come around and connect to the three-way. So it's just clearing the Ram. We're going to have a nice smooth arc as I come around, connect that to the three-way hose. Okay, so there we go. And then what we're going to do is we'll actually make the three-way hose a separate video. So step 9 will be the next step, and we'll put the three-way hoses on. Thank you.